I looked up on your. We haven't met each other, and I by chance, I just happened to drive by your facility in Mooresville and thought, wow, what a really nice place this is. And I've sold a few of these types of businesses, and so I kind of know a few things to look for, and I just thought this, whoever did this really knew what they were doing. I mean, I could just tell the design was based on what would the dogs like. And so it was just really impressive. It was just something that from afar you could tell. And I told my wife as I was leaving today, this guy gets it. I mean, this guy's the real deal. And that's not the case in your industry, because there's plenty of people that just say they love dogs,
But that's how he ended up with this place in Mooresville. He custom built it. Tell us about that, Andy.
I was, for 7 or 8 years, I was out in the middle of a field out on 150, and my office was a tent on the middle of a field. Had a picnic bench as my desk, but we had the things we needed to get the job done. It was rustic, but we got it done for 7 or 8 years. And then one day, it was February, it was cold, it was raining, and I says, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm 50 years old. I got to get indoors. So I just started driving around and looking at real estate. In about 48 hours, I found a place. A week later, I'm in contract. I bought the place, and I upfitted it from soup to nuts to whatever my specs were going to be to make it comfortable for me to be able to spend lots of hours, lots of time, and for my trainers to be able to do it so we could get more production out of our year and work time. So we can work nights, we can work hot days, we can work rainy and snowy days. And I just said, well, everything I want I'm going to put into this place. It's got to be the best situation for the dogs. It's got to be the best situations for the employees and the trainers. And I think I managed to put that together. And everybody that walks into our place and walks out back and sees our facilities is pretty wowed, which makes me a pretty happy person.
Yeah.
I guess I went down the right road. And for ease of use, this place really rocks.
Yeah. So you've been training dogs 30 years?
Yeah, 35 plus years. I'm not giving away how old I'm a relic.
Oh, it shows, man. I see the gray in the beard, man, and you're not going to hide it.
That's only the center. That's my son. Everything else is just fine.
Well, let's back up. Let's talk about the business of training dogs, right? Because I obviously went to your website, which is all I know about you, right? We've not met, and I'm looking at these dogs and the prices of these dogs. I'm thinking, goodness gracious, this dog should be able to cook me dinner.
How do you know it can't?
I don't know that. But what it tells me is you are a true professional and you are a true craftsman at your level. Talk about how you get to that level to be able to train these dogs to this level.
There is no bull involved here. If you're going to get to the levels that I'm at, it takes experience, and that experience doesn't come in 6 months or a year. It takes a lot of hard work. And when I say a lot of hard work, my day starts at 4 a.m. and I'm usually rolling out of there at about 7:30 p.m. to go home. And I'm there 6 to 7 days a week. So anybody thinks that there's shortcuts in any kind of business,
right?
They're sorely mistaken. I tell everybody I'm like a duck. What you see on the top is I'm cool, I'm pretty calm, I'm wide open, but I'm calm. But underneath, I'm paddling as fast as you can go to get all this stuff done. And if you like what you're doing, you'll be good at it. If you're good at it, the money follows itself. You just have to have a work ethic. And that's what I kind of noticed today. Everybody wants the successes, but they're not willing to put in the time, the work. Oh, man, that's a lot of work. Oh, that's a long drive. I don't want to work that hard. Well, you get what you get.
Well, but what you did was really strategically challenging, which is you took a business that was training and you expanded the boarding along with that. So now you've got this completely different business model. Can you talk about that? Because the building kind of changes what you do a little bit, doesn't it?
Not so much. The boarding is more of a convenience for our clients. We really are not a big facility. We only hold approximately 35, 40 dogs. So that's not huge. Most of the dogs that are there to be boarded and trained.
Okay.
The other part of the dogs that are there our dogs that we own that are for sale, that we're training to get to different levels for different
Right.
people. The boarding is probably 10% of our business.
Okay, that's interesting.
So you talked about the different
It's-
levels.
It's a completely different model than what. So if you look at all these other places in town
Sure.
or around the Charlotte area, boarding kennels, daycare, the doggy daycare, the play dates, and all that stuff.
Right,
That's their model.
right,
Our model is to train dogs,
right.
and to provide people with a service so that they can have a great time. The relationship between that dog and that owner gets better and better. We're putting them on the same. We're bridging the gap of communication so that the dog and the owner can have a great time for the next 15 years. You don't want to have somebody living in your house or a dog living in your house. It's a detriment to your life. It should be a positive. You didn't
Or
get a dog
open
to
the
say, "Man,
door
this
and
is going to make my life miserable. I want that dog."
Welcome to my world.
So somebody asked me once, "So what would be your motto if you had?" I says, "Well, train him once, enjoy him for the rest of your life." You should be able to take a dog anywhere you want to go. Dogs in Europe, utilitarian. Everybody takes their dog everywhere, on the subway, in the restaurants, grocery shopping, wherever, because they spend so much time with their dogs and they get the job done. Here, we want instant everything. People don't want to put in the time, so they don't get the results. You get, my dog understands me. Really? Good. Tell the dog to lay down. And they tell him 15 times, and they look at me and go, "See?" I said, "Yeah, that's not really what I was talking about."
You made reference, Andy, to the different levels of training that you do. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, we start everything out with, the basic puppy stuff, the housebreaking and the chewing. And believe it or not, people overlook that. But those are the two things that if you don't get them right in the beginning, that will cost you more, not getting that right, than all the obedience put together. Because if they ruin a good couch or ruin a nice carpet that you just put in, or your hardwood floors, well, that's going to cost a lot more than what it's going to cost to train that dog
Yeah,
in the future.
yeah.
So people look that over. So that's the one level. Then we get to obedience, the basic stuff: sit down, stay, come, heel, go to your place. If you can get that stuff right, you can have a pretty nice life, because that puts you in a position to have an open line of communication with that dog, to put it where you need it and have those things done. When you raise a child, it's a lot like training a dog. Not collar-wise, because they just get bent out of shape when you put a collar on a kid these days. But
I was going to say, can I send you my 15-year-old?
and I'll tell you a story about that later. But when you have a child, you teach them the English language, you teach them some manners, and you give them an education. I don't know why anybody thinks it would be any different with an animal.